views and opinions expressed in this program are not necessarily the views of ECTV News, the City of East Chicago, nor this broadcast station or website. ECTV airs public meetings as a service to the community it serves. Speakers at public meetings, broadcast, or posted by ECTV News are solely responsible for their comments. ECTV News reserves the right to edit or remove any profanity or abusive language or behavior deemed inappropriate for our viewing audience. If you have any comments or suggestions about this program, contact ECTV News at 219-391-82.
Okay, good afternoon. We're going to start. Good afternoon. I'd like to call to order the regular meeting of the Board of Public Works for August 27, 2014. Roll call.
Val Gomez.
Present.
Jezreel Rodriguez.
Present.
Carla Morgan.
Carla Morgan is absent. We'll move on to minutes. We have the regular minutes of the meeting of August 13, 2014. I'd like to make a motion that we accept those as written.
So move.
Roll call.
Val Gomez.
Yes.
Jezreel Rodriguez.
Yes.
And we have the minutes of the special meeting of August 6, 2014. I'd like to make a motion that we approve those as also as written.
So move.
Roll call.
Val Gomez.
Yes.
Jezreel Rodriguez.
Yes.
Okay, we come to correspondence. Any correspondence?
We do not have correspondence today.
Okay. Moving along, we come to new business. First on the agenda is opening bids for demolition of vacant properties, Phase 2.
I have those with me, I guess, I think, right?
Okay.
Yeah, the first bid is from JLJ Development Corporation, I guess, DEVCO. They're located in Gary, Indiana, 600 Broadway, Gary, Indiana. Bid total for group number 1, it's $86,000. I have a question for the building commissioner. Are we accepting also bids by address? Do we need to read all of them or just per groups?
It's per address.
Per address? Oof. We need to read all of the...
And or group?
So we need to read...
Yes.
We
all
could
the
just go
bids.
We can,
just by group, or
Yeah,
we have to
because
read every address? Or?
Do I need to mention all the figures?
Yes,
Just
because
a
we could
group.
award it, we could just award one per address. We can do that.
Okay. So,
And that is specified in the
Basically, we have-
specifications.
4 groups and maybe 20 properties. Okay, well...
And how many bids do we have?
4.
In each one? Okay.
Okay, well, group number 1, address 3625 Euclid, $12,000. 4319 Euclid, $12,000. 4327 Euclid, $12,000. 4110 Euclid, $40,000. 4331 Euclid, $10,000 with the bid price total for group number 1, $86,000. Group number 2, 4852 Norco, $13,000. 4854 Norco, $10,000. 501 West 144, $12,000. 527 on the 45th, $12,000. 4903 White Oak, $12,000. Bid total for group number 2, $59,000. Group number 3, 3924 Borderwood, rear only, $12,000. 3929 Deal, $13,000. Bid total for group number 3, $25,000. 5025 Alexander, $12,000. 5030 Alexander, $12,000. 5031 Alexander, $11,000. Bid total for group number 1, $33,000. Bid total for all the property listed, $203,000. The second bid is from JM Industrial Services, address 201 Marble Street, Hammond, Indiana 46327. Group number 1, 3625 Euclid, $11,800. 4319 Euclid, $6,800. 4327 Euclid, $6,800. 4110 Euclid, $52,700. 4331 Euclid, $6,800. Bid total for group number 1, $88,900. Group number 2, 4852 Narcos, $17,800. 4854 Narcos, $6,800. 501 West 144th, $38,800. 527 145th, $6,800. 4903 White Oak, $6,800. Bid total for group number 2, $73,000. Group number 3, 3924 Butternut Rear Only, $12,800. 3929 Deal, $10,800. Bid total for group number 3, $23,600. Group number 4, 5025 Alexander, $24,800. 5030 Alexander, $29,800. 5031 Alexander, $12,800. Bid total for group number 4, $67,400. Bid total for all the property listed, $248,900. Next bid is from RSR Demolition LLC, 1370 Joliet Street, Dyer, Indiana 46311. Group number 1, 3625 Euclid, $10,900. 4319 Euclid, $9,900. 4327 Euclid, $8,950. 4110 Euclid, $59,500. 4331 Euclid, $12,440. Bid total for group number 1, $101,690. Group number 2, 4852 Narca, $24,170. 4854 Narca, $6,650. 501 West 144, $38,110. 527 145th, $9,790. 4903 White Oak, $13,490. Bid total for group number 2, $92,210. Group number 3, 3924 Butternut Rear Only, not applicable. 3929 Deal, $12,220. Bid total for group number 3, $12,220 without the 3924 Butternut. Group number 4, 5025 Alexander, $28,380. 5030 Alexander, $26,140. 5031 Alexander, $15,380. Bid total for group number 4, $69,900. Bid total for all the property listed without 3924 Butternut at $276,020. Next bid and the last bid package from Acting Contracting LLC, 1102 East Columbus Drive, Chicago. Group number 1, 3625 Euclid, $7,970. 4319 Euclid, $6,325. 4327 Euclid, $5,730. 4110 Euclid, $48,840. 4331 Euclid, $5,415. Bid total for group number 1, $74,280. Group number 2, 4852 Norcat, $24,835. 4854 Norcat, $5,820. 501 West 144th, $29,440. 527 145th, $6,860. 4903 White Oak, $9,270. Bid total for group number 2, $76,225. Group number 3, 3924 Butternut rear only, $11,785. 3929 Deal, $9,735. Bid total for group number 3, $21,520. Group number 4, 5025 Alexander, $19,440. 5030 Alexander, $28,740. 5031 Alexander, $13,275. Bid total for group number 4, $61,455. Bid total for all the property listed, $233,480. That concludes all the bids.
Are these going to the building department for review?
Yes.
So these, you'll take the bids, you'll review them, and bring back your recommendation? Okay. So that, you should be ready by next meeting?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, next on our agenda, we have 1506-208 Broadway, emergency demolition and collapse of building.
Weena Guzman, Building Commissioner. 150608 Broadway, this was a commercial structure, front side, on August 19th, front south side structure partially collapsed, including the roof, front walls, on public right-of-ways, and also affecting the adjacent properties. We attempted to contact the owner, to no avail. We received verbal quotes due to the emergency from Acton Inc. and JM Industrial, as they were excessive, and one of the contractors refused to perform the emergency work at that time. We requested, we had the area secured by STM services, and we asked for the proposals to be submitted first thing in the morning at 8:30. The area again was secure, the public ways barricaded, and security posted throughout the night. Adjacent properties were vacated as a result. I also attempted to contact Attorney Geikus. I understand that he represents the owner on other real estate matters. And as of today's date, I have not received any response. On the 20th, we received two quotes, one from Acton and one from JM Wrecking. Acton was in the amount of $38,500, and JM Wrecking was in the amount of $47,755. I also had a structural assessment performed by Northwest Engineering Company, which recommendation was to immediately demolish the unsafe structure as soon as possible. Building Department recommends, as a result, approving the cost of the emergency services rendered by Acton Inc. for the emergency demolition of 150608 Broadway in the amount of $38,500. Also for the emergency services provided by STM in the amount of $2,858.10, and the services provided by Northwest Engineering for the structural assessment in the amount of $1,000.
What's the total of all three?
$39,758.10.
$39,758 and 10?
Yes.
So we don't know what's the results for the building adjacent to it yet?
No, we did receive structural assessment on that as well. And what they're doing is what they recommend. As a matter of fact, I provided a copy of that for you. Let me see if I could get it here. The inspection revealed that part of the roof of the structure has collapsed, indicating that there is damage to the roof trusses. In their opinion, the structure is unsafe for occupancy, so they're recommending that the city inform the owner of the building, the owner of record, to perform the repairs of the roof prior to the city allowing occupancy. So we're going to attempt to get that accomplished, possibly bringing them before the Board of Public Safety and seeing if we can accomplish that. If not, we'll move for condemnation demolition.
So the building that collapsed, it wasn't occupied, it was abandoned?
It was not occupied, yes. It was not occupied.
But there's an owner of record?
As far as we know, yes. Yes, that's Hector Lopez. Owner of record is Hector Lopez.
Do we know, does he have insurance, or is there any way to recoup any?
I contacted Attorney Geikas, and he's not aware if they have insurance, but would definitely, be, placing liens and following the procedure, the normal procedure of trying to recoup and collecting.
Okay. Any other questions or comments on 1506 to 1508 Broadway? So you're seeking approval from the board for the cost of $39,758.10.
Yes, yes.
Okay, I'd like to make a motion that we approve the funding of the cost for this project, demolition of 1506 to 1508 Broadway, for the amount of $39,758.10.
So move.
Roll call?
Val Gomez.
Yes.
Jezreel Rodriguez.
Yes.
Okay, next we have another emergency demolition due to a
Yes.
fire at 4739 Todd.
Yes, this was a three-story commercial residential structure on August 25th. Fire scene and extensive fire and water damage. Roof had partially collapsed. Emergency demolition as a result of the fire department not able to control the fire. Imminent danger was posed. So I called three contractors to receive verbal quotes, one from Acton Inc., JM Industrial, and Calumet Waste and Recycling. Acton Inc. Provided a verbal quote not to exceed $10,000. JM Industrial was not able to obtain equipment and operator necessary to demo. And Calumet Waste and Recycling, they didn't have the equipment available to demolish. Acton Inc. was awarded for emergency demolition, leveling the unsafe structure and abating the imminent danger, allowing the fire department to control fire at this location. STM also was called out to secure the premises thereafter by placing protection barriers throughout and clearing the debris from the public right-of-ways. The building department recommends approving the cost for the emergency services rendered by Acton Inc. for the emergency demolition, leveling the structure to the ground level only at 4739 Todd, and in the amount of $9,835, and also approve the emergency services provided by STM Enterprises in the amount of $2,583.
What's the total of all three?
Well, it would be two, because that's a separate item. I don't know if we want to, do we want to include also the three proposals that I received thereafter for removal of the debris, demolished debris? Do we want to include that, or?
Well, we have the original 9,835.
Yes, and the 2,000.
We have the 2,583. So you don't want to include the 32,940 in this?
That should come out to the two items here that I'm requesting approval from, that totals $12,418. My math is correct? That would be the $9,835 for services rendered by Acton Inc., and the $2,583 for the services provided by STM Enterprises. And as far as removing the debris, again, we just leveled the building to ground level, and we requested quotes for the demolished debris removal to include substructures, removal of that, backfill, topsoil and seed. We received 3 quotes, Acton Inc., $39,350, JM Industrial, $34,450, and Calumet Waste for $32,940. So I hereby recommend that the board approve and award to Calumet Waste to remove and dispose properly the demolished debris, to include removal of any and all substructures, backfill, topsoil, and seed in the amount of $32,940, and contingent on applicable permit fees being included in said cost.
9.
So I can give you a total, it would be $45,358.
45,358?
58,000, yes.
Okay. Do you have any questions or comments on this?
No.
Okay, there being no questions or comments, I'd like to make a motion that we approve the funding for this project for 4739 Todd in the amount of $45,358.
So moved.
Roll call?
Val Gomez.
Yes?
Jezreel Rodriguez.
Okay, thank you. Okay, next we have a letter from the Fire Department, Board of Works, City of Chicago. Purchase a second pumper. Dear board members, I am requesting your approval of the purchase of a second Pierce pumper at the cost of $431,184 for the East Chicago Fire Department. For the City of East Chicago Fire Department, this is the exact specifications and price of the pumper you approved on 11/15/2013. Pierce has agreed to furnish this pumper at the last year's price, and the purchase of previous order was a piggyback off Indianapolis Fire Department bidding process. This price will hold until September 30, 2014. Please note that the East Chicago Fire Department has a fleet of American LaFrance pumpers, which have become extremely difficult to maintain due to American LaFrance going out of business and making parts difficult to find. We anticipate the need to replace all American LaFrance pumpers in a orderly and speedy manner. I respectfully submit this request for your approval. Please note that the order will go in as quickly as you approve, and Pierce understands that this will be paid out of the 2015 budget. Attached, you'll find all documentation that was provided to you on the previous purchase for your reference. Respectfully, Emiliano Perez, Jr., Fire Chief. Chief?
Good evening, guys. I come before you this evening. As you read in the letter, American LaFrance has gone bankrupt, and parts, if we can find them, we're being gouged on prices on parts. Mm-hmm. And I've got for example, one pumper now that's been in the shop for 4 weeks just waiting on parts. And I went to the mayor and asked the mayor for approval to move forward with trying to turn out our fleet and get out of these American LaFrances, because we really don't know what to expect, whether someone is going to make aftermarket parts for these fire pumpers or not, but we don't want to wait until we have 2 or 3 pumpers out of commission before we decide to do something. So what I did was I approached Pierce and asked them if they would honor the contract that we came to terms with them last year. They said they would. There is a 3% price increase, but they would waive it if we signed a contract before September 30th, and which is why I'm here today, because if you approve it, we will go ahead and place the order with the understanding that the pumper will not be paid until 2015.
And just for the record, the city's controller's office has in talks with the financial consultant and the mayor's office. They've approved it, and it'll come out of gaming out of next year.
Yes, out of next year's gaming, correct.
So, do you have any other questions or comments?
No questions.
Okay, there being no other questions or comments, I'd like to make a motion that we approve the fire department's request for additional Pierce pumper at a cost of $431,184 $184,000 for the Chicago Fire Department to be paid in the year 2015, but we will approve it in this year.
So move.
Roll call?
Val Gomez.
Yes?
Jezreel Rodriguez.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, next we have recommendation for historic preservation contractor from the planning department. So Mr. Marshall is here. Mr. Marshall, I see we have two contractors.
We had 2 of 6. We had emailed 6 that had expressed interest at an earlier point. 2 only, however, bid. And I put the bidders and the amounts and the rationale why I recommend Bauer Latosa, even though they are requesting $5,000 rather, $300 additional.
So you're recommending them because they have the more experience?
More experience and familiarity with the city, and also in terms of putting together a block like that, the work they did near the University of Illinois, which I refer to as Halsted and Roosevelt.
Okay.
I believe I had spoken to you
Right.
about this a little bit earlier.
And you also discussed the proposals with Tiffany Tolbert of this.
Tolbert, who actually has been helpful to us both in doing the RFP and in the meeting we had with
And
Bauer
she's-
Latosa.
And she's with Northwest Indiana Office of Indiana Landmarks.
They have a Gary office that covers Lake, Porter, and Newton, Jasper counties, and she's the field person for that.
And for the rec-
She has a master's in historic preservation and has some 5-7 years' experience here in this area.
And for the record, she also agrees with your recommendation.
Yes.
Okay. Do you have any other questions or comments?
No.
Okay, there being no other questions or comments,
We've had an opportunity to view some of the sites with Maria Becerra from Redevelopment and with the mayor a week ago, last Thursday.
okay. There being no other questions or comments, I'd like to make a motion that we approve the recommendation from Mr. Marshall for historical preservation contractor Bauer Latosa for the amount of $18,900.
So move.
Roll call?
Val Gomez.
Yes?
Jezreel Rodriguez.
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Mr.
And the notice of award is simply the document for the same
Okay.
approval.
We have the notice of award here. Okay, so in conjunction with this, we have a notice of award.
It's somewhat, it's an adaptation of one used for engineering.
Yeah, it's a template. I just have a question about, this was a letter from you. I guess who had to sign a contract establishing the scope of work and everything?
Yes, I thought I'd at least send them a notice of award, letting them,
Right, after this.
I do have a letter, and I can send that to you first.
Okay, so,
I can have those documents to you by tomorrow.
okay,
but I
but
guess
we could proceed with the notice of award.
Yeah, basically, we're telling them we're going to hire you for this fee, and maybe they can even start work. With this, not just a award, you can get a PO and everything, but we need probably maybe a contract establishing the scope of work and all.
We will do that.
Okay. Now I have to make a second motion. We approve the notice to award to Bauer Latosa.
So move.
Roll call?
Val Gomez.
Yes?
Jezreel Rodriguez.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Okay, next we have Resolution 2014-39, Resolution of Chicago Board of Public Works authorizing an extension of LaToya Hicks contract through December 31st, 2014. I could speak on this. Ms. Hicks has been working for our multimedia, and before this, we were approving her contract on a monthly basis. our city attorney, Carla Morgan, was going to work on the contract to December, but she's been ill. So instead of doing this every 30 days, I suggested to the legal department that they just give us one till December, and then when Ms. Morgan comes back, she can do one for 15. So this contract is not to exceed the amount of $14,000 from August 1st through December 31st at the rate of $20 per hour, not to exceed 30 hours per week. And as I mentioned, she works for our multimedia. Is there any other questions or comments on this?
Nope.
Okay, there being no other questions or comments, I'd like to make a motion that we approve Resolution 2014-39, a resolution of the East Chicago Board of Public Works authorizing extension of LaToya Hicks contract through December 31st, 2014, not to exceed an amount of $14,000.
So moved.
Roll call?
Val Gomez?
Yes?
Jezreel Rodriguez?
Yes.
Okay, next on our agenda, we have Resolution 2014-40, radio equipment from Motorola lease agreement, a resolution of the East Chicago Board of Public Works authorizing a public lease purchase of radio equipment from Motorola Credit Corporation using a such special purchasing method authorized by IC 52210. Whereas we have to eliminate that first sentence on this. Whereas IC 522-10 authorizes the Board of Public Works acting as the city's purchasing agency to make certain purchases without soliciting bids or proposals. And whereas IC 522-10-5 provides that a purchasing agency may make a special purchase where there exists a unique opportunity to obtain supplies or services at a substantial savings to the governmental body. And whereas IC 522-10-12 provides that a purchasing agency may make a special purchase when the market structure is based on price, but the government body is able to receive $1 or percentage discount of the established price. And whereas the pricing from all radio manufacturers was obtained through bids to a RFP that was sent out by the Lake County Commissioners in the spring, the Technical Committee of the 911 Commission recommended Motorola radios for the county purchase based upon several factors. And whereas the county did purchase Motorola products for the Sheriff's Department, townships, and overall radio system at the Consolidated Dispatch Center, the pricing is only guaranteed at a reduced rate through September 1st, 2014. Additionally, pursuant to interlocal agreements, purchases must be made in order by September 1st, 2014. Therefore, be it resolved by the Board of Public Works of the City of Chicago that for the foregoing reasons, it is advantageous to the city's interest to enter into a lease purchase agreement with Motorola Credit Corporation to acquire public service radio equipment identified in an attached lease purchase agreement without soliciting bids or other proposals. It is further resolved that the board president be and is hereby authorized to accept and execute the attached lease purchase agreement on terms stated and perform all other actions necessary to accomplish the acquisition through lease purchase of such equipment for amount not to exceed the amount of 3 annual payments of $305,762.58. Okay, do we have anybody here to speak on agreement?
John Verbish, Deputy Chief, East Chicago Police Department.
Okay, Chief, what can you add to this?
It's been a really long process to get to this point, and we went through many trials and tribulations trying to figure out how we were going to get this, and I think it's a fair deal, and it's a deferred payment for 1 year. The first payment would be due in September of next year.
Does this include the radios for police and fire?
Police and fire.
Okay. Is this handed through our, I notice there's David Deal's name is on here. Is This is going to be, is he going to process all the,
We worked together on a lot of, securing a lot of the bid and going through what each department would need.
Yeah, we had Dave Deal appointed as the point person because they were going to need one person to be in contact. And since Dave is, even though he works under fire, he's physically at the police department. So he has, he's in a better position to ensure that no communication gets lost between either department.
Dave couldn't make the meeting tonight, that's why I'm here.
okay, the reason I was asking, because I was told he was going to be here, so I was wondering.
that's
But
why
he's
I'm
aware of everything
Yes.
here, okay. Do you have any questions or comments on
No
this?
question.
Now, as far as programming the equipment, that's going to be a separate issue?
That's already included in
That's
the,
all
That's it,
included.
everything's
in the
included in
price,
here?
yep.
And if I can speak to that a little bit, we awarded the recommendation, or at least on my part, I awarded the recommendation to Minor Electronics. And the reason that I did that was, first of all, whoever services you, whether it's Minor or any other vendor, the prices don't change. So it's really a non-bid situation. They have to give us the price that's been set by the 911 Commission. But we found Minor to be more attentive and more, they came to the fire station to talk to us about how they were going to help us set up. And they were the only vendor that was really proactive in seeking an opportunity to help us roll this out. And I felt really comfortable with them. And I know from the fire's perspective, that's why we chose Minor to move forward with turnover.
And the police department's in agreement with this?
Yes,
Okay, for the same reasons?
same reasons.
Okay. But in this resolution, there is, so this is included in the price, even though it's not mentioned here?
That's correct. All the installation of the vehicle radios, the programming, everything is included.
A lot of the, if something's wrong with the radio in the first 3 years, you contact Motorola, they'll send you a tag to put on it, tag the radio's mailed, on the handhelds, the radio's mailed back. And then they troubleshoot it and send it back to you.
Okay, because I understand there's a bigger packet, and I think Mr. Bennett has the rest of the information. So what I'm going to do, if you don't have any questions or comments, I'm going to make a motion that we accept the resolution on condition that the rest of the packet with all the signatures is brought to Olga, right, Olga? Is he supposed to get those to you?
I have it.
You have them already? Okay. Okay, so we do have them. Okay, any other questions or comments?
No, no questions.
If there be no other questions or comments, I'd like to make a motion that we approve City of East Chicago Board of Public Works Resolution 2014-40, a resolution of Chicago Board of Public Works authorizing the public lease purchase of radio equipment from Motorola Credit Corporation using special purchasing method authorized by IC 522-10 in the amount of 3 annual payments of $305,762.58.
So move.
Roll call?
Val Gomez?
Yes?
Jezreel Rodriguez?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, next on our agenda, we have Resolution 2014-41, transfer of property. Resolution of East Chicago Board of Public Works establishing terms and conditions for the transfer of certain property owned by the City of East Chicago, commonly known as 3912 Main Street, to the East Chicago Department of Redevelopment. I think this, I could speak on this. This is similar to property we've transferred to redevelopment. I believe this is part of the property on the blight elimination program. Is it? No? Are we transferring this over? Well, the resolution, that says.
Well, it's not, we are going to make it a part of it. We have to remove a couple of properties from the existing list, and that's one that we're looking at to replace with one of them that because we have that opportunity, we can waive to replace one of the properties if, just for instance, one of the properties was redeemed, so we cannot proceed with demolition on that, so we have to find another property to place on its behalf, and this is one of them.
So this is being transferred in the event that a property is redeemed, right? Or is it?
Yes, it's going to be,
Oh, it is
yes,
gonna
we're
be-
looking to place it on the list.
It's going to be part of the blight.
Yes, but we have to go through a process to place
Okay.
it and have it, file the proper paperwork with the state.
Okay.
So we already own this property. The Board of Works already own.
Yes, the city of East Chicago does, yes.
Okay.
So we're just transferring it to the Chicago Department of Redevelopment.
And again, these properties, in order for us to move forward with demolition, they have to be under the program partner's name, which is the Department of Redevelopment.
Okay. Do you have any questions or comments?
No.
No other questions or comments, and I'd like to make a motion that we approve resolution number 2014-41, approving the transfer of 3912 Main Street from the City of Chicago to the Chicago Department of Redevelopment.
So move.
Roll call?
Val Gomez.
Yes?
Jezreel Rodriguez.
Yes.
Next, we have outstanding invoice from Northwest Engineering. Is this another one where, from 13, which?
Yeah,
were-
this is an all invoice that we never receive it. The consultant said that he sent it to us, we never received it. So he recently was inquiring about payment, so we had to go to this process and get approval from the board.
Okay, and the work, I assume the work was done, right?
Yeah, work was done. This was for construction inspection services for private street, which was done a year ago.
Okay. I have no other questions or comments. Do you?
No.
Anything? There be no questions or comments. I'd like to make a motion that we approve payment for the outstanding invoice number 1304 dated 12/2013 to Northwest Engineering Company in the amount of $7,440.
So move.
Roll call?
Val Gomez.
Yes?
Jezreel Rodriguez.
Yes.
Hey, next we have NDOT project coordination contract, Broadway Street from Euclid to Fur, from the engineering department.
This agreement, we already approved this agreement with the only difference that was an old version. So the Indiana Department of Transportation sent me the new version, which is 5-7-2013. Basically, it's the same agreement. This is for the local match for the Broadway reconstruction project that we're gonna do next year. And but we already approved this agreement.
So even though we approved that it's a newer version, we still have to make a motion to approve this one?
Yes, they wanna also sign the new version. So
Okay, then, no other questions or comments?
no.
I can make a motion that we approve from the Indiana Department of Transportation Local Public Agency Project Coordinator Contract, EDS number A249-1332088888. Do I include the version?
No. I mean, well, if you want. I mean,
Okay, because this replaces the one we approved before, when it's a newer
Okay,
version,
yeah, you can
57-2013. And CDA number 20.205.
so move.
Roll call?
Val Gomez.
Yes?
Jezreel Rodriguez.
Yes.
Okay. Next, we come to professional service agreement with Primera Engineering Department.
Yes. This is
For the engineering department.
this is an agreement for construction inspection services as well. Last year we approved a proposal from this company they're already doing the work. We have the PO, we have everything, but we accept the proposal, but we never sign a contract. So they want us to sign a contract, but we already approved the proposal. So it's like a more formal for them. They would like to have this agreement, and this is for the Lakefront Development Phase 1. As you know, we already, the contractor is supposed to start next week.
So it's for construction inspection services?
Yes.
Okay. Well, since I have no other questions or comments, none?
None.
I'd like to make a motion that we approve the construction inspection services with Primera Engineering.
So moved.
Roll call?
Val Gomez.
Yes?
Jezreel Rodriguez.
Yes.
Okay, now we come to 2014 resurfacing agreement with Walsh and Ketty and Kelly. This is also from the engineering department.
This is a formal contract. We award this project last meeting. My goal was to present this last meeting, but I never received it on time. So this is for a 2014 resurfacing program that this is an agreement, formal agreement. We already award the project, and today we had the agreement, the contract, and also we have a notice to proceed. Will be the next item.
For the same project,
For
the
the
notice
same
to proceed?
project,
Okay. Okay, I have no further questions or comments. Neither do you?
No.
Okay, there being no further questions or comments, I'd like to make a motion that we approve the 2014 resurfacing agreement with Walsh and Kelly in the amount of $747,121.90.
So move.
Roll call?
Val Gomez.
Yes?
Jezreel Rodriguez.
Yes.
Okay. Now, on the same subject, we have the notice to proceed. For Walsh and Kelly, you have any questions on this?
No.
Now, I'd like to make a motion that we approve the notice to proceed for the 2014 resurfacing program.
So move.
Roll call?
Val Gomez.
Yes?
Jezreel Rodriguez.
Yes.
Okay, next we have the City of East Chicago right-of-way applications from the engineering department.
First application, it's 14-02-244. It's utility, location 720 West 145th Street. Repair building sewer at curb to main. Will block the street for 1 day. Next one is 14-02-245. It's another utility permit. Location 1506 Broadway. Temporary obstruction of public right-of-way due to demolition. 14-02-246. Dumpster. Location 3815 Grand Boulevard. Removal of debris. 14-02-247. Dumpster. Location 5030 Reading Avenue. Removal of drywall. 14-02-248. Dumpster. 4747 Drummond Avenue. Description: residential cleanup. 14-02-249. Utility. Location 4720 Railroad Avenue. Installation of wide open west fiber optic of the 16 NIPSCO poles. Bucket truck will be used within the right of way. 14-02-250 heavy load permit. Location Middle Steel. Hauling via Klein Avenue, Michigan Road, Dickey Road, and 129th Street. And the last permit is 14-02-251. It's another heavy load permit. Description: hauling via 129 Dickey, Michigan, Block Avenue, and SR 912. That concludes the right-of-way application.
I can make a motion that we approve Board of Public Works permit applications 14-02244 through 14-02250.
So move.
Roll call?
Val Gomez.
Yes?
Jezreel Rodriguez.
Yes.
Okay, that concludes our new business. Is there any old business? Is there any other business? There being no other business, our next regular meeting is Wednesday, September 10, 2014 at 4:30 p.m. That concludes our agenda. I'd like to make a motion that we for adjournment.
Second.
Roll call?
Val Gomez?
Yes.
Jezreel Rodriguez?
Yes.
Okay, concludes the meeting.
We're almost ready. So, ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to welcome you to the East Chicago Board of Public Safety, and we begin by a pledge of allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call.
Richard Morrisroe?
Present.
Thomas Davis?
Present.
Richard Tremzinski?
Present.
Entertain a motion to adopt our minutes from our April 13th meeting.
Make a motion. Second.
Roll call.
Richard Morrisroe?
Accept.
Thomas Davis?
Accept.
Richard Tremzinski?
Accept.
Do we have any additional correspondence?
No, we do not.
Madam Secretary, we're going to table again. We haven't been able to contact either Attorney Morgan or Attorney Allegretti in regard to the Terry Brooks and Derek Franklin matters for the East Chicago Housing Authority. Ms. Morgan is supposed to be back from sick leave the 1st of September, which will be Tuesday, the 2nd of September, and I may see Mr. Allegretti at a meeting tomorrow. But I would simply ask that that matter be tabled then again until our next meeting.
Okay.
Building Department, if we could. Council and Commissioner, just to come forward.
However the president wants to do it, we do it.
Good evening, Weena Guzman, Building Department.
Okay.
Do you want to entertain
Either
individuals that are here?
Yes.
now, and then we can
Yes.
proceed with the reports.
Fine. Counselor?
Do you? Hello. Did you want to call them up, or?
Dr. Lopez, would you come first? You were here first. Ortiz, Dr. Ortiz, fine. You'll be next, sir. He arrived first. Dr. Ortiz? If you have mentioned briefly that you had thought you were going to receive some kind of agreement?
Yes. I believe you brought that idea up to sign a letter stating that I intend to live there so that I could work on my own home. It's in my name and the title and everything, and I'm still my address. We have clarified all of that. I had sidebarred with Counselor Kevin Smith, and he said he would prepare the letter. Instead, I got the notice that it was going to be put up bids for demolition. I find that rather confusing.
Mr. Morrisroe, Mr. President, I can clarify. On July the 9th, the board affirmed the demolition because the property in its present condition presented a health and safety risk. If you remember, Councilwoman Orange was here.
Yes.
And talked about how it's dragging down the neighborhood and bad things are happening there. At that time, the board ordered it demolished, but Mr. Ortiz was to contact, as with everybody else, as per the terms of the resolution this board passed, contact the building commissioner, arrange for an inspection, enter a written rehabilitation agreement. That occurred. And so a letter was sent saying the property is going to be subject to open bid.
The issue of who did the work is a separate issue. The main issue is that the work get done.
Right, right. And we covered all that last month.
But you didn't have any meetings, you just waited for a letter for the last
I was
one?
waiting for a letter, just for them to prepare a letter. Instead, I got this other letter, which was just a duplicate. I wrote back to him asking him for clarification, and he was rather terse, and I didn't feel there were any answers in it other than a duplicate copy of the...
Mr. Smith's letter indicated that the property was affirmed for demolition on July 9th. To stop the demolition, an inspection and agreement to rehabilitate must occur. That having not occurred and still having not occurred, and today is August the 27th.
It didn't contain all that, but rather than get into
Dr. Ortiz,
semantics.
the meeting is going to have to take place on the property ASAP.
An inspection.
Well, I thought we already agreed on what has to be done.
We didn't agree on
what has to be done between the building department and myself.
That has to be reduced to writing. That has to be put in writing.
Well, I submitted a proposal long ago. This goes back to February that I got involved.
Well, where is
last year?
Has there been a revision or a supplement?
I showed pictures last year of work that I have done.
I'm sorry. Has he submitted a proposal?
No.
Please, Mr. Ortiz.
Sure.
Ms. Guzman.
Dr. Ortiz, can I please?
Sure.
Thank you.
Has he presented a proposal, a written proposal as to what he believes has to be done that you could then answer? And
as I recall, I don't remember receiving any, and I don't recall receiving any proposals after the hearing date.
Did you receive a proposal before?
I would have to check my records, because if he says February, I mean, I can't remember. I deal with many files.
My point being that at least that's his view of what has to be done. I would want your inspection to say what you believe needs to be done.
Yeah, and that's what needs to be done. We need to gain access. We need to inspect the interior and make sure it's safe.
Can that be done within 3 to 5 days? Can we?
Well, I can't say 3 to 5 business days because of our heavy schedule. You know, the building department has a lot of activity going on.
5 to 7 business days.
So we will accommodate him and schedule him for an inspection, but I cannot promise, within 3 to 5 business days.
Within 5 to 7 or 5 to 9 business days.
I will try to schedule as soon as possible.
And you have all the contact information for each other as far as setting up that meeting?
He would have to contact our office, and we can.
But he's here contacting. I mean.
Yes, but I don't have my schedule with me at this time.
But he could do that tomorrow morning?
Yes, he can come to the office at 8:30 in the morning.
Please proceed on it. I don't want to get into. Doctor, with all due respect, I do not want to get into nits over what you should be called or what should have happened with the February letter. I want to deal with August 2014 and moving it. Otherwise, it's going to get demolished because there's an order entered to have it demolished. Unless you move quickly, it's going to happen.
My only objection is that the letter referred to the exterior. I want to attack one problem at a time.
No, we want to attack the whole building at a time. We don't want to attack one problem at a time. There has to be an overall plan as to what has to be done, and your agreement to either do it or let the building be demolished.
There is no other option but that. If he doesn't do that, then we have to do what
Bids will be awarded.
has to be done.
Permits will be issued, and then there'll be a...
Yes.
Good day.
Thank you.
Now, Dr. Ortiz, just so that we know, do you intend to contact the building commissioner within the next day or two?
That's an option that I have to consider. I'm considering whether or not East Chicago is friendly enough to do business with.
That's fine.
Well, I called you constantly. I know your number by heart. You know it's fine.
Thank you very much, Dr. Ortiz.
Keep playing around. Yeah. Right.
Good evening.
Could you please state your name? I just have her brother. That's probably not going to be good enough for them.
Yes. Jimmy McMillan.
And do you have any ownership interest in the property? Is it just your sister's?
No, I have an ownership, equal ownership in the property. If I may read this letter to you, it might clarify something to a certain degree, if I'm allowed to read it to you.
We would be happy to accept it if you feel it's important to read it.
Yes.
Is it a single page or a number of pages?
A single page.
Fine. Please read it.
Yeah. Well, my name is Jimmy L. McMillan, Sr. My two older sisters and I were all born in East Chicago, Indiana, and graduated from East Chicago Washington High School. I was drafted into the Army from East Chicago and honorably served a tour in Vietnam. My building at 3764 Guthrie Street is scheduled for demolition, bidding on the 26th of June, 2014. I have decided to keep my building for personal use and storage. I will bring it up to the city code requirements and care for its grounds. This building has always been in the McMillan family since its construction by close and late family relatives before my birth in 1944. It really should be listed as a landmark of East Chicago, Indiana, because it was originally one of two poultry markets serving the city. It was called Max Poultry and the other was known as Main Poultry in the harbor section of the city on Main Street, part of which is now a delicatessen. As I understand it, the building was condemned because of trash debris of an old dog pen behind the building and because of slightly needed tuck pointing. I will correct these two violations and do whatever else is needed to bring the building up to code. My sister, Dr. Barbara Carter, and I have always paid the property taxes due on the property up to date and will continue to do so. We do need this building and also want to keep it for a sentimental reason, as many older East Chicagoans still reflect back on the early days when it operated as a poultry market, employing many of their late relatives. This building was built before I was born, built by my uncles, Manuel Abernathy, the Abernathy family. I regret that I was not at the meeting on April 9th. However, I've been trying to get this thing settled since then, and I'm hoping that the board will see that I am sincere in my efforts to correct whatever violations the building has.
Mr. McMillan, we're happy that you're here today. There's some difference as to whether you'd spoken in late April or June. I do believe that he can meet with you and try to set out what has to be done. And I think the poultry business has been an important part of the city and your family, and we hope you're not just going to, though, tuck point it and then leave it. I mean, are you going to occupy it?
Yes, I'm going to occupy it with myself. I'm going to use it for my own personal use, storage, and I already have estimates on what it takes. Do
you hope to live there as well?
Pardon?
Were you hoping to live there as well, or just use it as a kind of business property?
Not immediately. I'm not hoping to live there immediately. I'm just going to use it as storage property in the near future. But it's possible that I will turn it into a residential property. But I understand from Ms. Guzman that, you know, zoning might have something to do, because they recently changed. I think they changed it from a commercial zone to a residential zone.
Can you set up sometime within the next 10 days or so to schedule a meeting with Ms. Guzman to bring what you have in terms of the tuck pointing and the dog pen,
Yes, I have it here.
and also the whatever inspection is required to look for other issues.
Yes, we will need to gain access to the interior, so we'll schedule that. If you could come by tomorrow, we'll schedule that for you, and we need access to the interior. And at this point, I was there yesterday, the area is not maintained. I mean, there's overgrowth, pretty weeds and trees and everything. The rear needs to be cleaned up. I would like to see that all cleaned up.
Oh, it's cleaned up now.
I was just there yesterday.
Yeah, but,
so it wasn't.
yeah, so was I.
Yeah.
But it's cleaned
It
up now.
Okay, okay.
Well, Mr. McMillan, I think your tribute to the building and to the family call for at least a little improvement from where it was yesterday.
Yeah.
You agree with that? In terms of the condition of the building?
That the condition of the building.
And the yard.
Improvement.
From where it was yesterday?
Yesterday, yeah. Well, yesterday she was talking about, the grass and stuff around, but it's been all trimmed now.
Okay.
Yeah, it's been all trimmed now.
Counselor, do you have anything to?
Sir, where do you reside? Where do you live?
I actually live in Chicago, Illinois. But my building, we had several buildings in a row between Guthrie Street and Catalpa Street. My mom and my dad deceased, and we sold them all. Except
Did the family build a home on Catalpa as well?
Yes. I had a family home. We had a family home in Catalpa.
But I mean, they built
138th in Catalpa.
A beautiful brick home on that corner.
Right.
Yes. Mr. Collier used to always speak very well of you.
Oh, okay. Very good.
And your parents, even better.
Those, the estimates that you've received already on fixing the property up, do you have the financial means to
Yes.
put those into play?
Yes.
Okay, you can get that work done?
Yes.
Between you and your sister?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay.
Definitely.
Mr. Collier was one of my mentors in my early years with the city, and he unfortunately has suffered from some aging struggle. His wife is doing a wonderful job, but he lives down that same block from where your parents lived. So you're going to see that, to be in touch, and then that's all we need to do at this point. Is that correct? I mean, it's already on the list, and it has demolition status, but we're hoping that the letter and the...
We do have a written process, as long as he follows that written process.
Provided that, so yes.
We really were not trying to be too nasty with your predecessor, with the young man here before you, but he's been a trip. So please, I want you to know we don't treat everyone with that difficulty.
Okay.
Do you understand?
Yes.
Okay.
And I would say to you, stay in contact with the commission and get the job done, and everything will be okay. Well, it should be.
You're all set.
Okay. Thank you very much
You're welcome.
for your consideration.
Mr. Monroe, see you in the morning.
Very good.
Okay, well, I'm providing a status report for the months of July, August, 2014.
That's the addition
Yes,
receipt. Okay.
yes.
That's the one we just handed as we were coming in, beginning with 1506, 1508 Broadway.
Yes, that's correct. I did provide a little information on the emergency actions
And
taken.
we were in the
Yes.
audience for the Board of Works, so you needn't spend too much time.
Yes, and if you have any questions on that, I'll be happy to answer that.
No,
I also
I've seen
attached information so you can see as far as the structural assessment of both structures, that information is attached to that.
I wanted to point out to the commissioners, you recognize the name Daisy Griffith? Daisy Griffith
Oh, yeah.
is the lady who's been here about the Columbus Drive property.
Yeah.
She had that terrible fire on Todd Monday, and that's the second property here, the 4739 Todd on the
Actually, she
on the
owns
first
that
page
one
of
and
this.
the one adjacent to it.
Okay.
And then you've told us about 04 Broadway, 06?
Yes, 04 and 1504 Broadway. That's a one-story brick building. The owner of record is Housing Authority, and there was an emergency vacate issued due to the collapse at 150608 Broadway. It appears to be minor damage. We will assess it a little bit more once we're able to gain access to that side of the building. And upon safe conditions relating to the demolition there, we will allow occupancy.
Okay.
And I will keep the board apprised as to this matter.
And then we see the, your budget and...
Yes, that's just information that I provide at my department head meetings, and I just wanted to keep the board apprised as to activities going on within the department. There is our budget and permits issued. We have collected payment reports, which I've identified as far as the collection, which has increased substantially since 2009. So I just wanted to show that the board, the activities going on within the department. Special assessment liens, we continue to collect on the liens that we record and place against the special assessments liens against the properties. Rental registration, we've registered 1,809 properties, rental properties as of today's date. Collection, I'm sorry, as of August 25th, 2014. And the registration collection just identifies how much we've collected thus far. And just provided a demolition status as far as the hearings we've had before this board, as well as the Hardest Hit Fund Elimination of Blight Program, as far as the status on that as well. So if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
No, I have none, Commissioner.
Simply entertain a motion to accept the reports of the building department. We have the earlier ones, and then we have the earlier one, the condemnation demolition list, and then the one we were given at the beginning of the meeting.
I so move.
Roll call.
Richard Morrisroe,
Accept the documents of the building commissioner.
Thomas Davis,
Accept, same.
Richard Chemzinski.
Accept.
Thank you very much, Commissioner.
Thank you.
Council, did you have anything you wanted to, I think it was were you here when I tabled again the disciplinary matters because of Carla being still sick until September? And I hope to see Allegretti tomorrow, but we weren't in a position to do anything about the disciplinary matters in the Housing Authority. Any other business? Next regular meeting, September 10th, 5:30 p.m. Entertain a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Roll call.
Richard Morrisroe,
Adjourn.
Thomas Davis,
Adjourn.
Richard Chemzinski.
Adjourn.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for your presence and for your attention.